me finish.
Please go ahead, ma'am. Please go ahead.
During Dr. Abdul Kalam's time, there's something called preferential voting also, as you know, in a presidential election. So what happens is these new MPs and MLAs, they don't know what is preference 1, preference 2, and there had been problems during that time. So we don't know what has happened as of now, and we will find out what has happened. As of now, we really don't know what has happened. So one cannot say that, you know what, there has been cross voting, definitely, because when we see the number of votes, we all know that nobody can hide that fact, there has been. But who has done the cross voting? We don't know. We don't know if these new MPs and MLAs made a mistake in their preferential voting, you know, which has happened before. So it's nothing new. It's about the way Miss Murmu has become the president. It's a great day for India, and nothing. We are all happy about it. But definitely, there has been an opposition candidate, and whoever has voted, and there's been a whip for all congressmen also to vote for this particular candidate. You know, there is something. So that, of course, look into it. What is the reason behind it?
I briefly want to bring in Sanju Verma, who wanted to respond. Sanju, please respond, and then I'll go to other guests.
You know, Anusha, I do not want to get into any bickering today because, as you rightly said, this is a historic moment. I just reinforce two things. You know, the point that I was making, towards the end of my initial comment, I'll just reinforce that. Draupadi Murmu's term as the 9th governor of Jharkhand coincided partially with the term of Raghuvar Das from the BJP, who was then the chief minister of Jharkhand. People said, oh, Draupadi Murmu is going to be Raghuvar Das and BJP's puppet. She will certainly pass amendments to the Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act of 1908 and the Santal Pargana Tenancy Act of 1949, which would have actually, spelled disaster for the tenancy rights of forest dwellers. So Draupadi Murmu stood up to the BJP. She stood up to Raghuvar Das. She said, I will not pass the amendments to the Chota Nagpur Act. I will not pass amendment to the Santal Pargana, Tenancy Act because I will not allow forest dwellers and their rights to be usurped. And I will quickly, just end by saying one thing. As your colleague Maria was saying, as of now, Draupadi Murmu has taken 65% of the overall vote. But that number, to my mind, Anusha, will, by the end of the counting, end at 73 or 74%.
Well, let's wait and see, Sanju, what happens, as Shama was rightly pointing out.
10
seconds.
Because don't forget that out of 748 MPs who voted, 15 the votes were declared invalid, which leaves you with 733 MPs. Out of 733 MPs, can you believe 540 voted for her, which is a strike rate?
No, Sanju, you're right in pointing out those numbers, but clearly the cross voting has happened in favor of Draupadi Murmu, so that a lot of opposition MLAs have voted in favor of her, and this would include the Congress and the other political parties as well. I also want to bring in Sanjay into this discussion. Sanjay, a historic moment. Translate for us. What is the political grammar that BJP is writing? What is the assertion that they have made with this very deserving choice of Draupadi
Murmu? We have been talking about whether this is going to shift the tribal vote in BJP's favor or not. But I think the larger message is that BJP is demonstrating that BJP is the party which cares for the socially, economically poor sections of backward sections of the society. Remember when the cabinet expansion had happened few months ago, BJP made it a point to mention that how many people from the lower sections of the society, socially, economically, have been inducted into the cabinet. This is another demonstration BJP's commitment for uplifting the people belonging to the socio-economic deprived sections of the society. So having a tribal woman as the president of this country, BJP has once again demonstrated that it is not only on the paper, but BJP is trying to demonstrate that in action. BJP has brought that in action, that this is the party which is committed for social justice. There are other parties which claims for being the champion of social justice, but BJP, being in power, has been able to demonstrate that they are the real champion for working for the social justice, the issues of social justice, people belonging to the lower sections of the society.
Okay, let me quickly check if Pratim Ranjan Bose is also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Bose, coming to you, help us understand the choice of the opposition party was an ex-BJP, a veteran leader. But did it also in some way dilute the ideological assertion that the opposition parties have been making? I mean, their own veterans like a Sharad Pawar or Mr. Farooq Abdullah were not interested. What do you have to say about the choice of the opposition party?
I mean, it is visible. It is definitely visible. It was more. What is rather more important is that look what is happening from president election to vice president election. See how things are progressing and what is happening with the opposition house, the principal opposition Congress. Where does it stand? Jaswant Sinha came from BJP past, of course, but came from Trinamool stable. And he became the consensus candidate of the opposition eventually. Now, Trinamool has not gone with Congress. So where does it take us to? The whole opposition is not only divided, it's disarray, that is one sense, but Congress is getting loner and loner.
It's only fair that I bring in Shama Mohammed to respond to this. Shama, please respond to what Mr. Bose is saying, that Congress is becoming loner and loner. And also, what are your thoughts on the choice that the opposition candidate, Mr. Yashwant Sinha, he was at the end of the day an ex-BJP leader?
Yeah, so let me just get back to what Mr. Sanjay said. He said that there is this particular person who is doing, Mr. Modi or the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing a lot for the Adivasis. And of course, this is a very good decision, but it's a symbolic decision. I'll tell you why.
Yes.
There are around 104 million Adivasis in our country, and in our finance budget, we give them around 9%, 8 to 9%. The last couple of years, the percentage has gone down to 5%, and the Adivasis have lost 114,000 crores due to allocation. So that is what we need to see. What is happening to the Adivasis at the ground level? How much of money has been cut? It's just like a defense budget, which they keep, chest thumping about how they are nationalists. But as you all know, in 2018, the defense budget was 1.6% of the finance budget. So this is what is happening. So you can do symbolic things, and it's a good, again.
I'm sorry, Shama, I'm interrupting.